Hello, everybody. I had a function over the weekend, so the video I wanted to do on Oprah and Harry's The Me You Don't See program had to take a back seat. In the meantime, I watched Murky Meg's 2 videos in which she gave a complete review, and therefore I think it will be a waste of time and very boring for you to go through it again. Those of you who have not seen the program or heard Murky's videos can hop over there after you watch this video, or you can go watch it first, but please remember to come back here. So, I went and watched Oprah's interview about the program instead. According to Oprah, she did not even ask Harry to do the program with her. He offered. And let's be honest here, which interviewer would refuse such an offer? It would be incredibly stupid of them. In Oprah's own words, they finished the conversation and she turned around and said, "See ya." And he said, "Oh, by the way, if you ever need help with that mental health series you are doing for Apple TV, give me a call." And then she said she turned right around and told him to give his number to her. So once again, Harry reached out. I would not disagree, though, with those who are of the opinion that Harry is being exploited, because having watched as much of it as I could stomach, the interview and program could have been done a lot differently. I mean, where are Oprah's friends, Dr. Oz and Dr. Phil? I'm of the opinion that the subject could have been dealt with a lot more professionally or a lot less controversially. Then she carried on to say that when they first started working together, it was only about people in their own lives and experiences they had. So what is she actually telling us? She's telling us that it was planned for Harry to dish on his family. She talks about stigma breeds shame and that holding things in secrecy allows you to feel not only removed and isolated, but also breeds the shame and breeds the stigma. Again, when analyzing what people are saying, you have to look at the words they use. Oprah used the words secrecy, removed, and isolated. Why? Harry was not isolated while in the UK, but he is indeed isolated now. He had been removed from each and every support system he had. So Oprah actually shows here that she knows and recognizes the truth. However, it's clear that she cannot express it. And then she goes on to say that one of the things they wanted to do was to include people from all over the world. She says, Harry said, this has got to be a world thing and not just a USA thing. So here we see Harry's delusion and his delusion of grandeur. He wants to reach out to the world. The UK or the USA are too small an audience for him. And here we also see Meghan's influence. Harry used to be happy in Botswana, Lesotho, and by his own admission, he was happy in the army. Thus, it is clear that he was most happy when he was not on the world stage, not preaching or talking to the world. Yet now, he wants to reach out and talk to the world. What changed in Harry's life? Meghan did. Although he may have been all the things he said he was, petulant, arrogant, spoiled, and of course unhappy and depressed at times, he now looks even more unhappy and certainly shows signs of memory loss and low-grade delusions. But talking about that, I have noticed certain patterns in Harry's speech and body language for a while now. But as I'm not a medical professional, all I could see was behavior that did not look completely normal, or at least not for Harry when one looks at his baseline, and some things which looked vaguely familiar, but I could not put my finger on it. So I consulted a medical professional with 20 years or more experience. It is her opinion. Now, please remember, this is an opinion, and there is no way anyone can accurately diagnose anyone else without talking to them, doing a proper examination, and or doing a full blood workup on them. So this is an educated guess and by no means fact, but it is her opinion that Harry has access to opiates. It is her opinion that the EFT or EMDR therapy, and by the way, EFT stands for Emotional Freedom Therapy. Anyway, it is her opinion that for Harry, it might feel like it is working as it provides him with self-comfort. We can also see that Harry's weight fluctuates significantly. During the Oprah interview, he looked slightly bulgy around the midriff, and then we see him at the Wax concert, and he looks thin and rather pale. And it is thus her guess that he is taking ketamine or buprenorphine, or perhaps smoking some illicit drug, as those medications or substances also provide the extreme highs and lows we see in Harry. Now, please note, this is nothing more than a guess, and at no way are we starting or mean to start a rumor that H is using drugs or certain substances, only pointing out that people using these substances could display similar behaviors. Having said that, though, during this mental health program with Oprah, Harry did admit that he abused alcohol and drugs. And although he is now saying that he's not taking any medication for his depression anymore, he is not saying that he is not using any other kind of drug anymore, or that he stopped drinking. So I think that is rather significant. Anyway, what is even more concerning is Harry's apparent memory loss, or are they outright lies? Remember his comment about not being able to ride on the back of a bicycle with his father? That is just one example. So, is Harry lying outright? Let's assume for a minute he is. Then why? It is a lie which was debunked within minutes of the program becoming available. So, did Harry forget about his bike rides with his father, his mother, and later with his brother and cousins? William actually told us a couple of days ago how much he always enjoyed Scotland and Balmoral, how much of a normal life they had when at Balmoral, swimming in a creek, fishing, taking nature walks, etc. So why would Harry lie about something so relatively insignificant? Did he lie as an act of revenge? Did he lie because he did not care what anyone thought and just to fill the space? Or did he lie because his hatred for his family is so great that he would say anything to hurt them? Or can he truly not remember those times of his youth? If so, why? Was he brainwashed to the extent that those memories are now lost, or has substance abuse damaged part of his brain? The thing is that we do not know for sure, but even the blind can see his actions are not normal, whether he lied or whether he had forgotten. Harry's memory loss is also not restricted to his childhood or youth. In 2017, during a Heads Together event, Harry told how William encouraged him to get therapy, and at some point he admitted that he had been in therapy for a few years. Yet now, without blushing or blinking, he is saying that it is his wife who told him to get help during an argument. This is leading me to believe that Harry had his brain scrambled by someone close to him, possibly, or, namely, his wife, but scrambled to such an extent that he now sees her as his savior. Now, I may be wrong, but this kind of brainwashing, which includes erasing certain memories, is not something which can occur in a day. It requires indoctrination over a fairly long period of time, or sooner, but with the help of certain substances. But now we need to stop ourselves. Should all this mean that we should feel sorry for Harry? Unfortunately not. One only needs to have listened to someone like Dr. Phil a few times to know that sympathy in these cases could end up enabling the addict or the sufferer of mental issues. The key is for people to recognize their problems, and unfortunately, this often does not happen until they hit rock bottom, are desperate and down and out. The same applies to Harry. Firstly, his stresses should be removed, and by his own admission, being a prince is and was one of his biggest stressors. So he should hand back his titles, or it should be put in abeyance immediately. Or, if there is no hope of recovery, then these titles should be taken completely. Secondly, Harry and his enabler, Meghan, should no longer be given a platform on which to share their delusional thoughts and ideas, as this enhances their idea that they are right or popular or on the right path. Other than that, there is little you or I or their families can do. They are adults, and unless they commit an obvious, serious crime, no one can force them to do or not do something. I do not see a positive outcome to this saga, but other than signing Lady C's petition to convince Harry or the royal family to hand back or take the titles, all we can do is to sit back and watch the drama unfold. In another interview, Oprah said that she had never before seen a couple so much in sync as Harry and Meghan. Well, watching them during the Oprah interview, I beg to differ. I do not see a couple who are in sync, but I see a manipulative adult and a subservient child. Even watching older videos, it is always Meghan pushing him, guiding him, or pulling at him. I sincerely think Oprah is just talking for the sake of talking, and she has no clue what a couple who are in sync actually looks like. Well, my dear friends, so this is my very basic opinion on the mental health program Harry and Oprah did together. And I'll be back in a day or two with some very funny but very stunning news. Until then, please take excellent care of yourselves, and I'll see you on the next one. Bye.